this video, I'm rolling with Chris again. This is his 6th round on the channel. Or as he's known to some, Aggressive Chris. A totally normal aggression, by the way. More than some, less than others. So I had just rolled with Dylan before him, which the video's on the channel. And now I'm going to roll with Chris in the gi. I believe this is round 6 with him, and we have 5 other rounds on the channel, both with and without the gi. I'll post all of those links in the description. So this is a good round, actually. He steps back there to avoid the tripod sweep, but he leaves his arm exposed, so I was able to get behind his tricep. And it's really hard to come back from that. Because once I get my body behind your tricep, it becomes almost like a back mount. As you could see from that position, I was able to just come right up to mount. Very casually, very leisurely, dare I say. There he did a big hip bump, but again, only used one hand. So here I'm showing him he has to make an A-frame, use both hands, but he's pushing on my knee, and he almost got out there. When he went to come up with his right arm, I simply stepped back over into mount. I always look for that. And I learned that from Jonathan Satava. I don't know if any of you follow him. I'm sure some of you know who he is. He's one of Marcelo's black belts. I've had the honor of training with. So here I have my knee on his waist. He made space and brought his legs back in. And I told him that's exactly what you should be doing. And I didn't fight him like crazy because he did that. I didn't jump up and instantly counter him. I just kind of let him feel like what it would be like to get it back. So there I just did a quick judo toss into side control. Again, just utilizing principles. Such as the dead angle. There's usually one direction you can push someone that's going to cause them to fall where they have no base. So there I went from knee on belly to mount. Here he's pushing on my leg with 2 hands, but he's not shrimping or hip bumping at the same time. Escaping is easy, but it's not easy because it takes several things happening at once. So here he tried to power out. I just rolled to the bottom and stayed behind his tricep. Again, to me, that's an important place to be, especially when your opponent's stronger than you. And there I was able to sweep him over. And now I'm looking for the armbar, and I was able to finish. His intensity level goes up a little bit after submissions, I noticed, but again, that's totally natural. So there he did a good move. He tried to, athletically good. He tried to run around my guard. I can catch the back in that position, though I didn't there. I have recently. So I have 2-on-1 on one of his sleeves, and I'm looking to make more meaningful connections, but he's staying far away. So I'm looking to pull myself towards him or pull him towards me. Here I'm controlling his left arm, and with my right leg, I'm going to swing him over. Again, taking away the base, creating a dead angle, and then pushing him into it. So here I'm climbing the mount. I like to play high mount. I like to go all the way up. So from there, I went to the collar. I tried to grab his collar. He squared off. Now I'm looking to threaten the Americana slowly and incrementally. There it looks like I have a wrist lock, but I'm not really finishing it. There I was looking for the Americana, and again, I was going to switch to the wrist lock. Here I think I have his collar, or I'm thinking about his collar. Yeah, I have his collar. He's identified that. And now I'm putting my left hand, I'm pulling his arm back. So now he's in a dilemma. It's either going to be a collar choke or an armbar finish. And this is with my foot still in his half guard. So there, as you could see, I finished a collar choke, but I didn't finish it by pulling on it. I finished by leaning back and using that angle to cinch the collar around his neck to the point where he would be unconscious in a few seconds if he didn't tap. And that's what I'm explaining to him right now. I didn't have to explode into it. I didn't have to make a violent, big movement, extended movements. Everything was done slowly and incrementally, just knowing where to go. So there I did a tripod sweep to the leg staple, and when he defended, I took the ankle lock. I've really been working on footlock entries and heel hooks and everything lately, so hopefully I'll be able to showcase that in future videos. On levels are higher than white belt. So here I'm kind of letting him work, so to speak. I'm in his guard, but I know there's not really much of a threat. I don't feel like I'm getting swept. I don't feel like there's any submissions coming. I feel a lot of struggling, but it's a lot of energy used in inefficient ways. As you can see, we're 8 minutes into the round. He's pulling on my head. He's looking to pull me into a triangle. I'm doing a very basic defense that doesn't use a lot of effort and keeps me safe. If I wanted to, I could swim my left arm under his leg and pass very easily on that side. But I just was looking more for to be structurally resisting. So here again, I'm looking to swim behind his arm if I can, and right to my, I don't even know what to call that sweep. But I've done it many times over the last decade. So there I just switched to knee on belly. I'm transitional. It's good to be transitional, but don't be too transitional. It's good to be great at pinning somebody, but don't use all your effort for pinning. Because if you pin the guy down and he can never move, sometimes that's harder to submit. So here he's spinning right into the Darce choke without even realizing it, basically. And I remember I used to do this a lot with a training partner from MGA. He was a Darce master. Al, if you're watching. And I still remember some of his entries, just very basic, on a very basic level, and it's helped my Darce game tremendously. So there, Chris reminded me that there was a minute left on the clock. He has no shortage of energy. I have good energy, it's just the recovery that's an issue. As you can see, he tried to use his weight and athleticism, and I'm ending up on his back, which is What would happen to most people if they don't know anything to counter? They're going to just try to run around your legs, and then that ends up giving the back. See, my feet are crossed, but they're off to the side. I talk about this side back mount position a lot because if I feel like it just offers a better form of control. And then from there, I went to mount, and I have him in a gift wrap, I believe. Gift wrap is something that can be avoided. If you find yourself getting in a gift wrap a lot, you have a more of a consciousness that they could reach around your head and grab your wrist. So if you keep your elbow tight, it'll prevent that from happening because your wrist won't be where they need it to get the gift wrap. So here I'm looking for the Kimura, and I think I got the Kimura, but I got the wrist lock over it. So yeah, more to come with Chris, man. He's getting better and better every time I roll with him. One day, we'll look back at his first roll and realize how far he's progressed. So here I let him pass playfully because I knew there was only 20 seconds left on the clock and I wanted to see what he was going to do. But thank you for watching. Please like, share, and if you haven't already, subscribe.